So often I hear people say, oh yeah, I can't draw. I can't even draw a stick man. And my response is always, nobody taught you how. And that's too bad, because everybody can learn how to draw. It's about instruction. At Young Rembrandts, we are on a mission. We're raising generations to value the power, the passion, and the significance of art. And we're doing that by teaching drawing classes to preschool and elementary age kids. You know, we believe that when you give kids the tools and you teach them how to draw, they will stay participating in the arts so much longer and find such joy and pleasure in being an artist or doing art. And it doesn't mean they're going to grow up to be a professional artist. It just means there's a piece of the world, there's a joy, there's a hobby, there's a passion that is available to them because they had instruction. There's kind of a misunderstanding in art that you either are born with it or you aren't. And if you don't know how to draw, you're just not one of those, and it's okay. But if you say, I'm not that good at math, we're not okay with that. We think you gotta be in math class, you gotta practice, you gotta learn. Well, it's the same thing with art. We aren't born drawing everything, we need to learn it. I went to school for art, my college degree is in art, and I love doing art. There were times that I had kind of a revelation of how to draw something, or how to make something look more realistic, and I always thought, why couldn't somebody just shown me that? And so as much as I was drawn to art and just would puzzle through it until I figured it out, there was so much lost opportunity if someone had given me more instruction. When we teach children how to draw, we give them these foundational skills and the confidence that they will be able to draw and keep doing art. In any form of art, you have to know your tool, you have to know your craft, you have to know the basics before you can become creative. And you're a musician, you learn your instrument, you learn scales, you learn to read music, but you learn it, and then you can add your own individuality to it and your expression. In dance, it's the same thing. You're going to practice at the bar again and again and again, those basic dance moves. An artist has to know how to draw. They have to know the rules of drawing, of realism, of shading, and then they can take the basics and become, add their interpretation and their creativity to it. Even Picasso, who is thought to be, so abstract and one of the most genius artists of the 20th century, started with a foundation in realism. He was a master at drawing and realistic painting by the time he was 14 years old. Then he spent the rest of his career being creative and being more abstract. But he started with a foundation in realism and knowing how to draw and how to paint. In the Young Rembrandts classroom, we're teaching children how to draw. And every week we introduce a new subject matter and different techniques. It may be a realistic drawing, it may be a more graphic piece, a more abstract piece, but it's about helping kids learn to see an object and break it into basic shapes and gain this kind of like an unconscious competency and the confidence later that they can draw anything they look at. Young Rembrandts, we're teaching kids the basics of how to draw, how to think about drawing, and they gain the skills and the confidence to be able to draw anything.